So I'm going to go over this quick little PowerPoint that I've been using for step 2. And it's just real fast and simple, but I'm going to use the that I use so that you can get kind of oriented to how I do it, and then you can kind of make it your own. But basically, when I first start talking to anybody, I'm going to explain to them that all we do really in this business model is convert our everyday spending into earning. What we want to do is create an ongoing income by, first of all, tapping into the profit margins that we've been creating for 100 years just by buying all the things we buy, because everything that we buy has a profit margin in it. So if we can take what we're spending every day on our everyday purchases and distill out of those purchases the profit margin, or a piece of the profit margin, and then if we can leverage that buying power along with a bunch of other people that we team up with, that we connect economically and digitally with other households, there is a lot of money to be had that will take care of a lot of problems. We have a broker, an international broker, that has partner stores, over 3,000 partner stores that we can buy from. And they're stores that we're already buying from anyway, but we're not able to tap into the profit margin. We just buy the thing and we go home, and that's the end of the story. But if we are working with our own business and we have our own broker, we can get a piece of the action as it goes by. This is just a quick snapshot from one of my partners. She had ordered a bunch of groceries, and she just unpacked the box, put it on the table, and took a picture. And I love this picture because it just shows you that this is stuff that everybody buys. You know, some version of this is what all of our kitchens look like. You know, peanut butter and Oreos and cookies and crackers and, you know, canned soup, snacks of all kind, drinks of all kind, mayonnaise, you know, Kleenex. All this stuff is stuff that we all buy every day, not because it's such a joyous experience to buy it, but just because we need it. You know, it's just our everyday living kind of products. And she did the same thing, took a picture in her bathroom of a lot of the stuff that, you know, is in everybody's bathroom. But in this picture, you can see, if you knew what you were looking at, you'd see that over half of the things you're looking at in this picture are actually private label exclusive branded products that we get through our own business. We get it directly from the manufacturer. So there's a very large profit margin in that. There's like between 50 and 80% profit margin that we get credit for. So from a bird's eye view, this is what our business looks like. You know, we all shop from the same internet platform called shop.com. We don't shop from Amazon anymore. We figured that Jeff Bezos is making $10 million an hour, 24 hours a day, and he probably can do without our business. So we have our own business. We have what amounts to a franchise on the internet. So even though we're all having access to the same portal, the same website, and all the same products, we own our own link to this. We own our own URL. And so even though it's all the same, it's sort of like buying a McDonald's hamburger from the McDonald's down the street or the one across town. You're going to get basically the same hamburger, but the two different stores have two different cash flows, and they're owned by two different people. And so it's the same way here. We each own our own businesses. We have our own customers. We have our own business partners. And so our cash flow is uniquely our own. However, this is what's awesome, is that our international broker is able to track and know what each one of us is buying from each store, and we are able to collectively implement our collective buying power and leverage our buying power so that we get cash back. Actually, it's our customers that get cash back. We get commissions from everything that we're buying, everything that our customers are buying, everything that our partners are buying. So when you aggregate all this, it creates consumer power, which is the name of a book that you will see in a minute. People power. It's a win-win-win for everyone. And this is where the money comes from. We typically, manufacturers make something, and for every dollar they put into making a product, it gains cost as it goes through the supply chain. There's a jobber, which is kind of a rep that's a bridge between the manufacturer and the wholesaler, and the wholesaler and the retailer, and all of them want to get paid. So who winds up paying them? We do. The consumer. We buy the product, we pay for the whole gig for everyone. And in that picture, if you take a closer look, who is actually funding this whole operation? Consumers. Okay. And who is the only one that's left out of the profit? The consumer. So, we've decided there's a better way. And this is the business model that we work with. We reposition consumers from the bottom of the food chain to the middle of an infinite profit loop. So that little squiggly blue thing in the middle of that infinity loop, that's us. That's consumers that have repositioned themselves. And we are able to buy directly from manufacturers and directly from online retailers and get a little piece of the action every time we buy anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Now, we get a lot better profit margin when we're buying directly from manufacturers, and we have exclusive private label products that have a 50 to 80% profit margin, and that's sweet because from retail, online retail, we only get 2% to sometimes 11, 12% max. So we like the 50 to 80% better, of course, but 2% to 12% is certainly better than what we were getting in the past, which was 0%. So it all begins to add up, and we not only get credit for our own purchases, but we actually get credit for the entire team that we're linked up with. So that's really cool. I took a snapshot of this. It's just a high-end product that Nordstrom sells, and we private labeled it and got it directly from the manufacturer that makes it. And it's still an expensive product. It's designed for damaged skin. It's a skincare product. It's for people who've been out in the sun way too much, or maybe they're getting older and they just need some skin repair. And it's great. It has peptides in it. It's wonderful. It's really a great product. I've used it myself. I really love it. But if you bought this same product from Nordstrom, over the counter at Nordstrom, this is what it cost, $365. Even online at Nordstrom. And Nordstrom is a partner store. But if we buy something from a manufacturer, it can be the most awesome thing in the world. It can cost $365 retail, but when we sell it to our customers, it's $85.50. So I realize that's an extreme example, but it really shows you how much markup there really is on a lot of these products that's kind of unnecessary. So this is just a picture of a book, and obviously, I'm the one talking here, so it's my book. But if you are explaining this to somebody else, obviously you want to say something about who I am, and I'm one of your senior partners, one of your teammates, and that I was actually honored to be part of the evolution of this back in the day when this was just beginning to be experimented with as a concept. And because I was a business broker, I had some people come to me and talk to me about what they were doing and show this to me, and I realized immediately that it was genius. And I knew it would catch on. I didn't know how long it would take to catch on, but I knew it would. And I knew it was a no-brainer once people understood what was happening. Why should you spend money and be left out of the cash flow when you could spend money and be included in the cash flow. That, yeah, it seems like very obvious to me. It's called the shopping annuity. We trademarked that name. Most people wish they had an annuity if they knew what it is in the first place. But actually, it's sort of like a 401k, which if you've had a 401k with your employer, hopefully they match, what you're setting aside. But it takes years and years and years and years and years, decades actually, for a 401k to turn into something that can actually provide you a decent retirement. And frankly, 95% of Americans don't have a decent retirement. That's statistically true. Only 5% of Americans retire in any kind of financial comfort. Everybody else is just dog paddling, just trying to stay afloat. So what this business does is provide a platform for everyone who shops, which is all of us, to be able to build a long-term asset that pays us for the rest of our lives. And it doesn't take decades to do it unless you just drag it out. But if you do it the way they've designed the system to work, in 2 to 3 years, you've got a 6-figure ongoing willable passive income to give to your children and grandchildren when you pass on. And in the meantime, a really nice lifestyle. So this is a screenshot of the front page, the home page of our shop.com site. You notice that is my name right there. So, your name would be there. And of course, every month or so, they changed the homepage. This was, I believe, July. What I want you to notice is that there's $40 million down here at the bottom, $40 million, $40,551,676 that's been given back in cash back to customers. That's $40 million been given back to customers. That doesn't include the commissions that those of us who own our own site receive. This is on top of that. And what people like us, owners, have received is over $4 billion, which is more than 40 million, if you remember your math. So anyway, I just want you to see that. And ultimately, what you've got is just a simple choice. All of us have this choice to make. Now that this is available, we can continue life as it has been, where we're spending money and it goes out the door, never comes back. That's the end of that transaction. Or we can convert our spending into earning. Frankly, once you really see this, you never look at shopping quite the same way anymore. Every time you go to the store, every time you get online to spend some money to buy anything, you realize that you could be actually leveraging your buying power and creating a long-term income for yourself. It's not quite the same now. When you're shopping, you're thinking, all my money's going away and it's never coming back. Or you can, join our team and we work together to create this. We co-create this because we leverage each other's buying power digitally. And, I have team members all over the country in, a number of cities. And it's really, there's no geographical boundaries anymore. You can do business online, and we can actually do business in 200 countries too. So that's pretty awesome. So basically that is the way I do it. And then what I also do is I do go to shop.com and show them the live website. I say, how would you like to actually take a look at our website? And this is what it looks like now. And I point out that just in the last 2 months, it's gone from 40 million to 41 million. So we're giving away over $500,000 a month now to customers. And the more customers that we have, obviously, the more that we're going to give back. So I like to point that out. And then the navigation bar, you can see all the different categories that you can shop in. And then I like to show them the stores. These are our partner stores. We have literally thousands of partner stores, and I like to click on that PDF and then show them. I just scroll. So take a look at this. These are alphabetically. These are the A's of our partner stores. And I have people that just lean up and look in, it's like, oh, Alamo Rent-A-Car? Really? And then they start commenting on things that they notice. Now, Ancestry.com. Yeah, I have, my friend told me about that. Oh, Ann Taylor. Oh, I love Ann Taylor. I shop at Ann Taylor. Apple iTunes. Oh my gosh. They start commenting on things. And we haven't even gotten out of the A's yet. We're still in the A's. Okay, we're about to go into the B's. Banana Republic. Oh, wow. Barney's New York. So I don't scroll through the whole thing. Obviously, it takes too long. But I like to show them just how many stores, and you can see the cashback and the IBV, which is our commission structure. It's impressive. If people like to see the real thing. And when I do go back to shop.com, I show them one more thing. Let's see here. Let me get out of this. I want to go back to shop.com and show you one more thing. I like to show them Shop Buddy. Sometimes, if you have enough time, it depends on your time constraints, but you can actually log out of your website and actually sign them up as a customer. And then tell them when they get home to their own computer, they want to download Shop Buddy, because what happens then is Google and Shop Buddy are connected. Shop.com are connected through Shop Buddy. So you can Google anything you want to. Like last winter, I wanted to buy a down jacket. So I Googled it, and then I scrolled down. And because I have Shop Buddy, it showed me which stores are partner stores and what deals they have and what percentage of cashback or IBV I would get. So like here at this store is called Columbia.com. And I get 2% IBV, which is internet business volume. That's my commission. Oh, but here at the North Face, I get 6%. At Super Dry, I get 7%. And at Backcountry.com, I would get 8.8%. So where do you think I'm going to actually wind up shopping for my jacket? That's where I'm going to wind up shopping. I get 8.8%. Everything that you buy becomes actually an investment. So if you're going to have an investment, you want to get the best return on your investment. So 8.8% is better than 6%, better than 2% for sure. So Shop Buddy is really very handy. It also happens to be connected to Amazon. So when any of your customers are shopping on Amazon, if we can give them a better deal with one of our partner stores, Shop Buddy actually pops up on Amazon and says, wait a minute, you can get a better price on that at a different store. Let me take you there. And it becomes very, very wonderful. So that's how I do it. Takes about 15 minutes. There's plenty of time to kind of add your own twists and turns and to have feedback from them and to ask them the kind of questions at the end. Does that make sense to you? Is it better to actually turn your spending into an investment rather than just spend it and it's over, gone forever? And of course they will say, well, yes, So the next step after this is to actually see how our business is structured. And what I like to do there, I like to use the tree. Let me go back here to the tree. And I like to do the tree on paper, because if I'm doing a coffee shop presentation, I can draw on the paper. I can write notes. It's just nicer to be able to do that. But here's what I do tell them. I say basically our business is structured in a sort of organic way, and it grows naturally because we handpick people that we want to work with. We don't put an ad in the paper, or there's no paper to put an ad in anymore much. we don't just it's not mud on the wall, is what I'm trying to say. So we handpick people that we would enjoy working with, people that will be uplifting, people that are fun, people that are just enjoyable to be around, and people who have kind of an optimistic view of the future, and always looking to create good things. That's the kind of people we want to be with. So, let me show you how this works. Everything that's stable and growing has to come from a good root system. And we consider that the international broker that makes all the contracts for us, that's our root system. They've been around for 26 years. They're not going anywhere. They're very strong. In fact, they haven't had a down quarter in over 24 years. So, through the recession, the 9/11, everything, they did not even have a single down quarter. So we have a very strong foundation. They're the ones that find the high-end manufacturers that create our signature branded products. They're the ones that partner with our partner stores. They've actually got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and I think the only company in the history of the Better Business Bureau that has won the Torch Award for integrity and ethics twice. So this is kind of our root system. They feed us everything, and they are the trackers of everything. They make sure everything is happening like it should. Then you have a personal team that you work with. And I talk about who's on their team, the kind of experience that they've had. Ultimately, it will all come back to me and to Carol, and I'm the one that wrote the book. So it should be impressive to, a new person that the one who wrote the book is actually one of the senior partners that will be available to them and helping them. So then I put their name right here. I say, so you're one of the newest branches of the tree. And let's just think of a couple of people who fit the criteria I was just saying. They're uplifting, they're fun to be around, and they wouldn't mind having an extra few $1,000s a month coming in. So, I use that there. And then on the, actually the back of the page, of the paper page, there's this. And what I like to say here is, it's very simple and easy to share this business, especially when you have a team beside you to do it. Because usually I'm sitting there with somebody else, and I say, because Tammy is fairly new, so did you notice how much she's been talking here? And she hasn't been. I'm doing the talking right now because, I'm on her team and I want to see her succeed. So in the first 30 days, I want to help Tammy find a couple of partners to begin to grow her own personal team, right? And so it's pretty easy to do. If we show 10 people what's going on, at least 2 to 5 people are going to join our team. They just will. That's just statistically what happens. And then our job is to help them find their 2, and then help them find their 2, and so forth. So you can see that in a perfect world, it would duplicate like that, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and on and on. It would go like that. And by the end of the year, this is 12 months, by the end of the year, you would have 4,000 people who no longer needed to or wanted to shop on Amazon at all. They took the money they were giving Jeff Bezos, and they were funneling it through their own business, and they were creating a retirement account that just is leveraging not only their purchases, but everybody on their team. So things don't always go as planned. So, 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, and then something happens, right? So it doesn't always go as planned, but here's the sweet thing. Even if you had an 80% failure rate. Even if 80% of those people did not duplicate, they didn't find their two people within 30 days. Maybe they didn't find their two people within 60 days or 6 months, because things always are different than the ideal. But what if you had an 80% failure rate? You'd still wind up with 800 people who, because of you starting the dominoes to fall, have their own website and buy everything from themselves and no longer have to buy on Amazon. That would be sweet. Now, in a minute, I'm going to tell you what that would mean financially to you. But before I do that, I want to talk about this. There are requirements to run our business. This actually is a business. You get tax advantages and everything. I just had a friend of mine yesterday, as a matter of fact, that said that she was building this business and then she got interrupted. And for 1 year, she had some health issues and different things. So for 1 year, she didn't do anything with it. So she didn't claim any of her tax advantages. And the difference between the year before, when she was doing this business and funneling all her purchases through the business and showing other people, what was going on, she got back $6,000 from the government that year. And guess what she got back last year because she wasn't doing it? $78, not even $100, $78. So she said, that it's crazy not to do this, is what she said, because the government itself will give you back thousands of dollars just in tax rebates, just in tax advantages, because you do have a legitimate business here. But what the company does require, there are 3 requirements. First of all, you do need to be trained. There's 2 online trainings and 1 all-day training with an actual human in the room trainer, and you would pay $50 for that. The other 2 are free, but they are required, and you can't do the $50 one until you've done the other 2. So, the broker that's 26 years old has a reputation to protect and wants to make sure that everybody who is doing this business knows what they're doing and doesn't misrepresent anything. After all, it's the one that won the Torch Award, right, for ethics and integrity, and it doesn't want that messed up. The second requirement is a minimum requirement of 50 points of business that you do with yourself. In other words, you got to transfer 50 points is about $100 worth of business, because with private label products, we do get about a 50 to 80% margin. So worst case scenario, that'd be 50% margin. So 50 points would be about $100 worth of business that you would be doing with yourself. Money that you're transferring from where you were spending it before, you're going to spend it with your own business and from your own website. And then there's an extra $22 a month for your back office. So that's your whole entire accounting system, so that you have a paperless business, and you have everything that's going on in your business from day one to infinity is tracked by your back office. So that's $22 a month. I don't know anywhere where you can get an accounting system like that for $22 a month, but you do. And along with that comes a tracking system that goes on your phone for all of your tax deductions, so that it tracks your mileage, it tracks everything that you do that's tax deductible, so that you will get that, $3,000 to $6,000 back from the government at the end of the year. So let's say you did have an 80% failure rate, and so they're, at the end of the first year, and you don't have 4,000 people that are transferring their buying, but you do have 800, and everybody's doing at least the minimum. And I'll tell you this, just so you know, the average is more like 100 to 300, not 50. And and once you have a few customers, it becomes 500 a month, not 50. So just so you know, we're talking very minimum stuff here. But if you had 800 people doing the very minimum, 50 points a month, that's 40,000 points. And you ask me, what is a point? What does that mean, a point? What's a point? Is that $1? No. A point indicates the profit margin that is in the product that you're buying. So if you're buying toothpaste for $10 and you get 8 points, then that's an 80% profit margin. Not that you would buy toothpaste for $10, but that's how it works. So, and we also developed 2 teams. So those 40,000 points would ostensibly be actually in 2 different teams. And again, this is not something you need to remember. You'll see it in more detail later. But the pay cycle is weekly. So 5,000 points every week. You would go through the pay cycle 4 times, and a pay cycle is 1,500. So at the end of your first 12 months, with an 80% failure rate, and everybody doing the very minimum, you would still be earning $6,000 a month. So, you know, the leverage is amazing. And I would ask you this question. Let's say a year from now, your income has gone up $1,000 a month, just $1,000 a month, let's say. Would that make a difference in your budget? Let's just say 1. Yes, it would. Of course it would. An extra $1,000 a month, what is that? A car payment, like a really nice car payment, maybe even 2 regular car payments. Yes. A mortgage payment possibly, or part of one. Yes, it would take the pressure off. So would it be worth it to convert your spending into earning, even if you were just making $1,000 a month and then getting that tax rebate of, you know, $6,000 a year? That'd be pretty sweet. That would be a total of $18,000 a year that you didn't have before. And that's just at $1,000 a month. So is it worth it? You know, you tell me. So that's the end of my conversation. So the first part with the slides, it's about 15 minutes. The last part with the tree is about 10 minutes. Total 25 minutes, I'd say. And then what we do is we set a time for step 3, because I tell them, I say, you know, we do this in stages because this is a whole new paradigm. It's a paradigm shift. You know, you're wrapping your head around a whole new thought process, and you kind of have to let it sink in. And I give them the book, and I say, if I give you this book, will you read it? I don't want to give it to you and you sit it on the coffee table. You know, if you'll put it by your bed and read a little bit each night, or really it just take about an hour to read the whole thing, then I'll loan it to you. And the other thing I want to give them is the home shopping list, where they can just mark, and I say, just mark the stuff that your family uses on an ongoing basis. You know, when you run out of it, you buy some more. Just start marking those things. And then we'll have a little conversation about that whenever we get together again. But most people want to go on to step 3. Step 3 is where we go over the official plan that the broker wants us to show you. What you've seen now is basically, you know, the kindergarten plan. But I think that's plenty in the beginning. And then once you read the book, you'll really have the heart and soul of what and why, what we're doing and why we're doing it, and what the potential is. And then when we do step 3, I'll go over the official business plan with you that the broker wants you to see, and fill in any details that that I've left out or that need to be looked at. So that's what we'll do. And then if that sounds good to you and that you want to go forward, then we'll move it on forward and get you going. So anyway, that's that. I'm going to stop the share and then stop the recording, and we are done.